It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? A guy named Fred McFeely Rogers went through that little ritual more than 800 times. He was a minister without a church, but with a huge congregation. And his message was very simple. You are loved. You are deserving of being loved. People care about you. The journalist Tom Janode followed Mr. Rogers around for a while and tells the story of Mr. Rogers meeting with one of his young fans, a kid who had cerebral palsy. And Mr. Rogers asked the young boy to pray for him. After that interaction, Janode took Mr. Rogers aside and said, "I know why you did that. You wanted that kid to have something to care about." Mr. Rogers was taken aback. He said, "No, Tom, you don't understand. That kid has been through so much. That boy has been prayed for so many times. He's closer to God than I am. I didn't want him to pray for himself. I wanted him to pray for me. I was asking for his intercession." Next month, the U.S. Postal Service, not next month, this week, the U.S. Postal Service is going to issue a stamp with Mr. Rogers on it. So on your letters, and in the neighborhood of make-believe, that's what a hero looks like. The Texan singer and songwriter Guy Clark wrote a song about his grandfather coming through Ellis Island. And the chorus is, "Sometimes when I look in my grandfather's immigrant eyes, I see that day reflected and I can't hold my feelings inside. I see starting with nothing and working hard all of your life. So don't take it for granted, say grandfather's immigrant eyes." Well, that's the story of my grandfather, Giuseppe Catera, who came through Ellis Island with a pittance in his pocket a little more than a century ago. He worked as a laborer, coal miner. He got married. He started a business with his brother-in-law, which was moderately successful. And this immigrant son of Italy sent all 5 of his children to college. 3 of them ended up being teachers. Their children ended up being bankers and engineers and builders of cities and officers in the armed forces and teachers themselves. Giuseppe wouldn't have thought that was any kind of a big deal. It was just part of the American dream. He just wanted to tend his garden and make wine. But we knew it was a big deal. We understood that in Merrittstown, Pennsylvania, that's what a hero looks like. When I got married, I won the mother-in-law sweepstakes. Barb was a flibberty gibbet, but she was a wonderful woman. And you wouldn't think that Midwestern Republican Quaker and an Eastern liberal humanist raised by academicians would have gotten along, but we did. There's an old Quaker hymn. It's a gift to be simple. It's a gift to be free. It's a gift to come down where you ought to be. I think of that when I think of Barb, not because she was simple. Far from it. Like her daughter, she was a very complicated woman. But because she was guided by very simple principles and very firm ones. Care about your family. Care about the people around you. Take care of your community. There was always some family in town that Barb would take care of. Family that was down on their luck. She'd make sure that the kids had Christmas presents. She'd make sure that there was always food in the refrigerator. At Barb's funeral, I found out from one of the other women in her church that whenever the church had a rummage sale, Barb was the one who unlocked the doors in the morning and turned out the lights in the evening. In Noblesville, Indiana, that's what a hero looked like. Every one of you is here for a reason. You want to learn to be a better public speaker. You want to learn how to contribute to your community. You want to learn how to be a better leader. Each one of you is a pebble that drops into the pond that makes ripples. And those ripples will touch other ripples, and those ripples will touch ripples in turn. And one by one, moment by moment, you're making this world a better place. So tonight, when you go home, I want you to look in the mirror. In Bellingham, that's what a hero looks like. Mr. Toastmaster.